Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 12 to 16 of chapter 1. Tasya sanjanayan harsham,
Tasya sanjanayan harsham,
Kuru vruddha pitamaha,
Kuru vruddha pitamaha,
Simhanadam vinadhyochaihi,
Simhanadam vinadhyochaihi,
Shankham dadmau pratapavan,
Shankham dadmau pratapavan,
Tatah shankascha bheryascha,
Tatah shankascha bheryascha,
Panavanaka gomukha,
Panavanaka gomukha,
Sahasaivabhyahanyanta,
Sahasaivabhyahanyanta,
Sashabdastu mulo bhavat,
Sashabdastu mulo bhavat,
Tata shvetairhayairyukte,
Tatah shvetairhayairyukte,
Mahati syandane sthitau,
Mahati syandane stitau,
Madhava pandavaschaiva,
Madhava pandavaschaiva,
Divyau shankhau pradhadmatuhu,
Divyau shankau pradhatmatuhu,
Panchajanyam hrishikeshaha,
Panchajanyam hrishikeshaha,
Devadattam dhananjayaha,
Devadattam dhananjayaha,
Paundram dadmau mahashankham,
Paundram dadmau mahashankam,
Bhimakarma vrikodaraha,
Bhimakarma vrikodaraha,
Ananta vijayam raja,
Ananta vijayam raja,
Kunti putro yudhishthiraha,
Kunti putro yudhishthiraha,
Nakulah sahadevascha,
नकुलः सहदेवश्च
सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ
सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So last week was Guru Purnima, and you all would have experienced the depth of the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. Now remember one thing, Guru Purnima is not actually restricted to that one day alone. This entire month is conducive for you to get attuned to the Guru Shakti. And the real goal which you all should have is to always remain connected with the Guru Shakti within you, so that it will go on guiding you at every step in life. So these sort of special days are for you to get further connected and attain the full benefit, but it is not restricted merely to that one day. This is very important. So we were doing verse number 14 of chapter 1. Prior to that, in the series of building inner strength and taking charge of your life. Now, till now, what we have seen is that you should follow your conscience fundamentally in life, whatever your conscience tells you. And that conscience can be heard only when your mind is calm, when you're free of all your beliefs, superstitions, of whatever society has thrown into you. Because many a times people have a confusion between what is a conscience and what is it that they feel due to some external influence. What I mean by external influence is, if you're in a particular place for a long time, you will generally start behaving like everybody who is there in that place. If you go to a remote village in South India and stay there for let's say 15-20 years, then you will start thinking and behaving in a particular way, how people are there. Supposing you go to US and stay there for some time, I've seen many people who were born and brought up in a particular environment like India, and then they moved to US. After a few years, the way they talk, the way they think, the way they feel, everything gets influenced by that environment. Now, that should not be confused with conscience. Conscience is something which actually gives you a direction towards a higher in life. You may belong to any country, you may belong to any culture. These things are external. But there is that voice which is deep within you, which keeps telling you what is right and what is wrong. As you do your sadhana, and when your Guru Shakti gets further and further awakened, you get more connected with the Guru Shakti, the Guru Tattva, you will be able to clearly hear your own conscience. And once you start hearing your own conscience. That will start guiding you in every experience in life. Actually, to the extent your conscience is awakened within you, to that extent you will be able to relate to your external guru in a more deep way. Again, as I told you, it's like the two pedals of a wheel. To the extent you go and surrender to a guru externally initially, he will help you to awaken the Guru Shakti from within and start distinguishing between the voice of conscience and so many other factors. But then to the extent you are able to achieve that internally, to that extent you will be able to relate to the external Guru also in a deeper way. Whatever message he gives you, you will be able to absorb without any blocks. See, when you don't follow your conscience, there will be a clash when you meet a master, because whatever the master tells you will be always pointing towards the higher, and he will be direct. His messages will always be direct. It will hit the student quite hard. Now when the student is not following his or her conscience, now that message will hurt the ego, because if either you are following the conscience or the ego. So to the extent you are not following the conscience, your ego is active. So that will come and hurt the ego. You will find it very difficult to absorb the message and practice. But through sincere practice and regular sadhana, you will be able to slowly overcome these blocks and become completely attuned with the higher. So all this we have been seeing. So from verse number 14, we are directly getting into the practical aspects, the positive points which you need to practice in order to build the inner strength. 14, 15 and 16, that's what we are going to see in the series. So in verse number 14, what did we see in the last session? Then standing on the magnificent chariot yoked to white horses, Madhava and Pandava indeed blew loudly their divine conches. So if you want to take charge of your life, the first thing is your own physical body. See, if you want to do any work, you think about it. What is the first thing that you require to complete a task? There are many things, but I am saying primary requirement is that the tools of that activity should be in good condition. If you want to travel somewhere, the vehicle which you are going to use for the travel should be in good condition. You know, whenever you plan a holiday, you're going to drive and go somewhere, a long drive, you always ensure, you service your vehicle before the journey, you ensure that enough fuel is there, you do a basic checkup. Now, why do you do that? Because you want to ensure that the vehicle can sustain the journey. Similarly, in the journey of life, what is the vehicle which you are using? You have to think. It is your own physical body. Whether you want to achieve worldly success or whether you want to achieve spiritual success, the physical body is the basic vehicle which you are going to use. So if you want to become successful in life, if you want to build inner strength, this becomes a pre-requirement, taking care of your physical body. In the rat race of life, what I'm finding is that people start neglecting this fundamental principle. Physical body is just a start, and then in the next verses we'll be seeing more and more subtler points related to your own personality. But you need to make a start from here. That is why I said it is not enough if you just merely do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, in the sense sitting and listening to it, but 1 hour of physical exercises is a must. The yoga, the yogic kriyas, whatever it is that you know, you start off with. If you don't know any form of yoga and all that, doesn't matter. Do some walking. I know people during this lockdown time who are health conscious and who have this habit of walking. They have still continued to walk. They go to the terrace and walk, or they go, to the compound that is within their compound. They just go down and walk for a while. Or I even know some people who walk inside their rooms about 500 times, 1000 times. They keep on walking. So where there is a will, there is a way. So don't give excuses. So when he says magnificent chariot, it means a body which is well taken care of. It is not merely the external beauty which he is talking about. That is also a part of it. You should be well groomed and all that. Why they are suggesting all that? The fundamental principle, if you notice, is you need to overcome your tamas or laziness if you want to grow spiritually. A person who is tamasic, tamas means ignorance, sleep, laziness, sloth. A person who is very lazy cannot grow spiritually. This is something which you need to make a note of, because a lazy person and a person who is meditative, that is sattvic, they both will look alike. See, when you are meditative, when you are highly sattvic and contemplative, calm, you will just be very, very calm. There will be a calm presence about you. When you are lazy also, you will be sitting still. But there is a world of a difference. A person who is meditative, he will be calm and composed, but always there will be so much of energy and tejas radiating from him, from his eyes, from his entire personality. Whereas a lazy person will be highly unproductive in life. That is why the Bhagavad Gita was given to somebody like Arjuna, who was very dynamic, who was an achiever, who had that will to achieve things in life. It was not given to a tamasic person. That is why when youngsters, when they come to me and tell me that Yogishri, we feel so inspired, we want to give up everything, we want to become detached. I always ask them, first of all, what is it that you have achieved in life? What do you want to give up? Have you made your mark in the world? Have you achieved something? When you have not achieved anything, to say that I want to give up everything, that makes no sense. So remember that when he says Mahati Sindhana, magnificent chariot, he is talking of overcoming the tamas, standing. Standing means ready to face the challenges of life. This is of utmost importance, because as you do your sadhana, when you do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, as you absorb more and more energy, you will become very calm. basically in life, you will become a very peaceful person. But there is this danger of slipping into tamas, because the ego is always waiting to trade on your tapas. Whatever little tapas you do, the ego is waiting to rob all the tapas. So the moment it sees calmness in you, it will replicate that. See, this is one of the methods of the ego, Whatever positive quality is there, it will try to replicate a negative quality which will look alike. It will look exactly like the positive quality. So you may mistake and fall for it. So if you are very calm and composed, the ego will generate laziness. And it will try to mimic that. And invariably, I found many sadhaks fall there and they tend to become lazy. So if you want more energy, if you want to evolve spiritually, you need to always be vigilant about this tamasic nature in you. So it is not merely that 1 hour of exercise. The idea of asking you to do that 1 hour of exercise is so that you are brisk, active throughout the day. It's very important. So, standing on the magnificent chariot, yoked to white horses. So the horses represent the senses. So your senses are very pure. Now I'll anyway be covering about the senses in the next verse when we talk of Lord Krishna blowing his conch. So we'll see that at that time. Madhava and Pandava indeed blew loudly their divine conches. So Madhava is another name of Lord Krishna. Madhava means honey-like, sweet. And Pandava means the son of Pandu, referring to Arjuna. So the two aspects, they represent the two aspects of your personality. Madhava represents the spiritual power within you, which is sweet. When you honey-like, honey, when you taste honey, that gives you so much of sweetness. Similarly, when you taste the bliss of the infinite within you, it is infinite times more sweet. It is very difficult to explain it in words. It is infinite bliss. It is infinite peace. It is infinite cheer. So all that is represented by the word Madhava. That is there within you. Both Madhava and Pandava are there within you. So Madhava is the spiritual aspect, the spiritual power which you have within you. Pandava is a very relevant word, relevant name. He is not referring to him as just like that Arjuna. He says Pandava. Pandava means the son of Pandu. Pandu was Arjuna's father. So he is talking of he is referring to Arjuna from a worldly sense with respect to his worldly relationship. So here Pandava represents worldly power. Again, when we will be expanding on this as we go to the next verses, because watch what the Pandavas represent in terms of building your inner strength is something very interesting. But basically, Pandava, the word Pandava used here refers to the worldly power. Now you need to combine both in order to build your inner strength. You should be very strong spiritually, and at the same time you should act dynamically in the world and achieve your goals. The combination will build tremendous inner strength within you. Invariably, people take care of only one aspect of their personality. Either they are fully in the world, they acquire a lot of worldly power, but they neglect the spiritual aspect completely. Such people, in spite of having a lot of wealth, a lot of name, fame, so many things, they don't have peace of mind. Many celebrities, when you read their interviews and all that, it's you don't know whether to feel sad or happy, because they have reached the height of glory from the worldly sense. But the amount of turmoil, inner turmoil which they go through, you have no idea. Some of them were even driven to commit suicides. I'm talking of the past few decades. I've been seeing this. Somebody who achieves a lot of success and suddenly commits suicide, or suddenly gets into depression, deep depression. The reason is because they focus on one aspect of their personality, which is worldly power, but then they neglect the spiritual power completely. Or on the other hand, we can find people who focus only on the spiritual aspect. They leave out the worldly aspect. Such people become misfits in society. If you only focus on the inner aspect without fulfilling your obligatory duties in the world, beyond a point you will not be able to grow spiritually. It will all become empty talk. It is easy to talk about spirituality, but what is more important is your practice. So you need to learn to balance between Madhava and Pandava within you if you want to build your inner strength. Whenever you find, this is a sadhana tip I'm giving you, whenever you find yourself getting so involved and enmeshed in the worldly activities, to such an extent where you forget the very purpose of your life, then you need to pull yourself back. Do more sadhana. But whenever you find that in the process of doing sadhana, you lose the zest, or you lose the energy to function in life, to do your duties in life, at that time you should stop doing this internal sadhana and get into action, karma yoga. This is very important. If you go on focusing only on one aspect of life, after a while you will break down. So balancing is spirituality. Balance gives you strength. When you eat food, that the nutrition should be distributed to all the parts of the body. If only your left arm takes up all the nutrition, and the other the right arm and your legs and all don't receive the nutrition, that will be lopsided development. So when you go to a master, he always emphasizes on this balance. When he finds that a person is becoming too tamasic, he will push him into action. In the name of meditation and all that, if you say that, oh, I just want to forget everything, all my problems, and just sit and keep meditating on God, can you really do that? The same problems which you are trying to escape from will come and disturb you in your meditation. So when you go to a master, he will say, now take steps to solve that problem. Oh sir, I don't have a job, now what should I do? I will just sit and meditate. Somebody will come and give you a job from heavens or what? A master will tell you, apply at least for 100 companies, 200 companies. But then when he finds you getting very, very agitated, you lose your peace of mind in the action, he will suggest, don't neglect the meditation aspect, do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana. So all the time you will find that a master will not say the same thing. He will not give you the same advice. At one time he will emphasize on the worldly aspect, or at another time he will emphasize on the spiritual aspect, depending upon which side your balance has tilted, has shifted. So his focus is always to bring you to the center. So unless and until you do your worldly duties properly, you cannot burn up your karmas and get the highest experience of enlightenment. So there should be that combination of Madhava and Pandava. So beautifully portrayed here, First, the chariot is magnificent. Means they overcome you overcome the tamas, the laziness in you, and you're ever willing to, work. You're willing to put in hard work and effort. Number two, then you implement a balanced approach in your sadhana, in your life. So many people, when they ask me advice, they always say this, sir, I've been doing Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana for so long, still this problem is not getting solved. That is because you are not acting. See, Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana will give you the energy, it will remove the blocks. But then the problem will get solved only if you apply that energy and convert it into action. So don't expect miracles without hard work. That is not the way of spirituality. If you're thinking that I will just come and listen to Yogishri, I will just listen to Yoga Sankirtan every day, and then I will neglect my health, I will not do any exercises, I will not do my duties, I will not work, I will not apply these principles in my relationships, but I want all the problems to get solved. That is not possible. So the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana will fill you with that energy, but then you need to follow it up with your efforts and action. This is very important. So Madhava and Pandava indeed blew loudly their divine conscious. Pradadmatuhu means blew loudly. This actually is a connection. This phrase, when he says Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu, means the divine conscious, they blew. That takes you to the next verse where one by one he says, Krishna, he took his conch and blew. Then Arjuna, one by one, they all start blowing their conches. So this is the connection. So you need to understand the deeper meaning of this phrase when he says Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu. As I told you, every verse, it's not only of the Bhagavad Gita, of all these scriptures, every verse is actually like a gold mine. So you go on digging, you will get so much of gold, There is no end to that. So I am only taking those 1 or 2 points which are right now related to this topic of building inner strength. First practice that. If you practice these small tips, points which I am giving you, you will find that your whole life will get transformed. So what is this? Why is he saying divine conch, Divyau Shankau? It's very symbolic. So what is the conch? I did cover that in the previous verses where when Bhishma picked up his conch and blew, I explained to you the 3 aspects of the conch. Now, I'll give you one more subtler meaning of the conch, because unless you understand that, you will not be able to grasp the deeper messages of the next verses which we'll be doing. So the conch actually represents your expression in life, your energy field. What do I mean by expression? See, pradadmatuhu means blowing. So blowing the conch is how you express yourself in life, how your personality expresses itself. So there are many kinds of expressions. There are gross expressions, then there are subtle expressions. Each expression actually creates an energy field around you. That is what in the yogic language they call as aura. You must have heard of the term. Aura is not something magical or anything. It is just the energy field which you create inside you and around you. They called it aura. And aura is also of many types. One is the gross energy field, and then you have subtler and subtler auras, which is not possible to measure with any instrument. Nowadays they have come up with some instruments like pip photography or Kirlian photography, with which they say we are able to measure the aura of an individual. But that they are referring to whatever they are able to record there is only the grossest aspect of the aura, the outermost layer. But there are many subtler layers of energy, the energy field within you, which cannot be measured by a gross instrument. It is only through meditation and by awakening your third eye that you can actually experience those things. So every expression of yours creates an energy field. So what are the different kinds of expressions? See, whenever you speak, that is one way you express yourself in life. So depending on how you speak, what kind of language you use, your tone, everything, you are actually creating an energy field. A simple word, like if you say thank you, when you say it with all gratitude and you say thank you very much, that creates a particular kind of energy field, a positive energy field. First within you, around you, and it reaches the other person also. You say, do namaste and say thank you. It's very positive. But the same thing, the words can be same, but a negative energy field can also be created based on your bhavana. Supposing a person comes and says, thank you, thanks. Now, as I'm saying that, you can clearly feel the negative vibes which is within me, around me, and that will also reach the other person. So it is not merely the words which you use, but with what bhavana you are using that. So speech is one form of expression. Then whenever you act, whenever you do any action, that is one form of expression. These are all gross expressions. When we see Krishna's conch, he'll be actually talking about how to how to purify these different kinds of expressions only. I'm introducing that concept right now. I'll give examples here and there. And then when we actually go there, how to purify them, we will see it in more depth also. But these are gross expressions. Then you have the breath within you, and more subtle are your emotions and thoughts. What kind of emotions you generate. Sometimes you may not say anything verbally, but if your having a very negative thought or negative emotion, now that energy also reaches the other person. You create it within you and around you. That is why when you go to a master, he doesn't see your gross expression, what you're saying or what you're doing. He always looks into the deeper conch within you, the deeper aspect. The conch has both these aspects. Shankha is tikshna, that is gross, and also sukshma, subtle. It has sound, it also has nada, the vibrations, the gross and the subtle. So a master always looks at the subtle expressions of the students, his emotions and thoughts, and he responds according to those subtle expressions. So sometimes you may ask him something, it may look as if he is telling you something which is irrelevant to what you've asked. It's not that he does not understand. You may be asking something verbally, but from an emotional point of view, you may be asking him something else. That is what he will address. A person may be very humble externally, but highly egoistic inside. He may come and say, "Oh sir, I surrender to you." But the master will immediately look inside. He will find that, in case he finds that he is full of ego, then he will not respond to this external shank, the external expression. So, depending upon what your expressions are, you will be building a particular kind of energy field, either positive or negative. And when you build a positive energy field within you and around you, your inner strength will grow. You will start taking charge of your life. When you build a negative energy field within you and outside you, you will start losing your inner strength, and your life will go out of your control. As you do your sadhana, and especially you all who are very sincere and who are also doing the higher sadhana, whenever I'm having those advanced courses, plus your personal sadhana, all these things put together, you will start becoming more and more energy sensitive in life. The deeper you go into this, you will become so highly energy sensitive that a time would come where you just meet a person, you just look at that person, immediately you will know what is the energy field which he is generating. It is not a miracle, this is only this is another science. And it is, in the science you can actually decode that energy into your language and read whether that person is going through sorrow or what experiences he has gone through. Everything can be read. It is a very powerful science. A master may use it, may not use it, but that capacity will be there, and you will also get it as you grow spiritually. If you take a newborn baby, up to the age, when it is a baby, and then as it grows till the age of around 5, the baby or child is very energy sensitive. It can read others' auras. That is why when some people come near a child, assuming it is not hungry or anything, if it immediately, if it reacts negatively, it means it is sensing some negative energy field. It has an open aura. That is why the first 5 years, it is always suggested that you play the Yoga Sankirtan. Not that after 5 years you should stop, but when the aura is open, the child will absorb the positive vibrations tremendously. Many mothers, when they were carrying, when they were pregnant, those of them who listened to the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, they will find that their children will be different, the children will be very positive. And it's not only when you're carrying the baby. The first 3 to 6 months, when the baby is born, you should expose it to the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, the vibrations. You play it loudly. This is to all the mothers who give birth to babies. Just play it loudly. You don't say anything. You will find that most of the children, that's what all the mothers tell me. They tell me the moment this is played, the baby becomes very quiet and focused, intent. Some babies close their eyes and go off into, whether it's meditation or sleep, you may not know, but it is absorbing the energy. So your entire inner strength in life depends on the energy field which you create. The gross energy field is created through the gross expressions, and the subtle energy field within you, you create through your subtle expressions, emotions, thoughts, the belief system which you have, the knowledge which you have, the discrimination which you do, the decisions which you take in life. All these are the subtle expressions. So a master, a yogi, he isolates himself and he keeps meditating all the time. So you may wonder why. Even though he is meditating alone, he is generating a powerful energy field within him, which then starts radiating to entire humanity. And that is the greatest service which these great yogis do to the world. Their only motive is to serve humanity. As in one of the chapters he says, Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha means welfare of the world. That is their only motive. But how do they serve humanity? It is by generating and radiating this divine positive energy. That's what he says, divine conscious, Divyau Shankau. So you should also make your Shank divine. Shank means your personality, your expression. Today, your expression is distorted. Whenever you use harsh words, whenever you get an angry emotion of anger, or any negative emotion or negative thought or negative speech, negative action, your expression loses its divine touch. It is no longer graceful. When we go to the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he gives the various qualities of a bhakta, that is a devotee of God. One of the qualities he says is dakshaha. Dakshaha means one who is graceful and an expert in doing things. Everything which he does in a divine way. Work is worship. Actually, your whole life is worship. The entire life of a yogi is a worship. He doesn't need to do any special puja or worship. For him, there is nothing like puja time. Generally what you do is, morning 7:30 to 8 is my puja time, some people say. Which means other parts of the other time, you're not thinking of God. It shouldn't be restrictive like that. Morning, this time to that time, I listen to Yoga Sankirtan. That is my sadhana time. Now what about the remaining 23 hours? That is also your sadhana time only. This is the deeper sadhana, and that the remaining time should be application of that deeper sadhana. So for a yogi, his entire life is a one long worship. Through every action, he worships God. With every word which he utters, he worships God. What do I mean by worshipping God? Whenever you generate positive energy, remember, you are worshipping God. Whenever you generate negative energy, you are worshipping the demon within you, the ego within you, the Satan within you. It is not external worship that matters, that has to create that positive energy within you. If it doesn't create, then that is not called worship. That is not true worship. So that is why Swami Vivekananda, he said, by being devotion to God is not spirituality. Devotion to goodness is spirituality, he said. Devotion to positivity. Because actually God is nothing but positivity. The divine energy. Of course, now don't bring in the further higher concept and say, sir, in one lecture you said God is beyond good and bad. If you're at that level, then you don't require the lower aspects at all. But I'm saying this is the starting point. So the more positive energy you start creating, it becomes very, very conducive for you. A person who is very positive, now when he or she sits and meditates, he will go very deep inside. That is so conducive for to reach further heights of spiritual edification. When you're riddled with so many negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative speech, negative actions, when you sit and meditate, the energy will only be cleansing those things. So, Divyau Shankau, Divya Shanka means is talking of your expressions. So that is a powerful sadhana which you need to practice. What is that? Find out what your expressions are in life and try to make them as positive as possible. First start off with gross expressions and then become more and more subtle. I'm going to explain this further and further when we go to the next verse, because when Lord Krishna picks up his conch and he blows, the name of his conch itself is Panchajanyam. Pancha means 5, Janya means the 5 expressions in a human personality he's talking of. They all become alive, full of life, full of divinity, And then how these Pandavas, they were all attuned to Lord Krishna's direction, whatever direction he set. And then how their conscious also became divine. What is the sadhana tip which you can get from their expressions. So the Pandavas represent the worldly aspect and Krishna represents the spiritual aspect. So both these, when you combine in your life, when you install them in your life and when you function, you will gain tremendous inner strength and you will be able to achieve anything which you want. Your whole life will be under your control. So this is the meaning of Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu. So the word Pradadmatuhu, it means blowing loudly. It can reach the farthest point. It's a very significant word because when Krishna stood there and blew his conch, it's not that it was heard only by nearby people. The person who was at the last, who was standing at the other end, also was able to hear it. That is the power of Lord Krishna. So when you make your expressions divine, when your thoughts divine, when your emotions, your speech, your actions, everything, when you make them divine, now whatever energy you're radiating here, that will not only spread, first it will spread to the immediate family, the people who are around you, but it will go on spreading to the entire humanity. You are the center of your life, of this world. And from that center, you should generate your positive vibrations. That is the greatest service you can do to humanity. Just as when, at the physical level, the external level, we see the tremors, what is interesting is they say you feel a tremor at your place or at some place, but the epicenter of the tremor will be thousands of miles away. The result of that, you are able to feel a tremor here. Very, very interesting. It is the same principle in spirituality also. So never ever say that I am a very good person, but things are happening, all bad things are happening to me. It is not possible. No one is 100% good or bad. So your goodness will bring good things to you. Your good energy will attract good things to you, and whatever negative energy which you generate will attract negative things in life to you. It is not only about moral goodness or moral badness, it is also about basically what pulls you down. Like when you lack confidence in life, that is also negative energy. So you may say, I am a very good person, but I lack confidence in life. Then that goodness will give you certain results, but the lack of confidence will give you certain negative results in life. So the best way to use these tips to gain the inner strength is, what I would suggest is, make a list of your problems in your life, whatever areas you require changes, positive transformation, and then try to see what is the attitude which you are having in that particular area. Supposing, let's say, you are having a relationship issue. You have a relationship issue with your spouse. It could be husband or wife, Now your general attitude will be to blame the other person. Now just for a while, stop blaming the other person. It's not a blame game. You have to find a solution ultimately. And now see what is the kind of energy field which you are generating in that relationship. What are the actions which you are performing? What kind of speech you use? What is the emotion which you are generating towards the other person? What are the kind of thoughts which you are generating towards the other person? Are you being very judgmental about the other person? Or are you looking at the other person with unconditional love? Just find that out. You will invariably find, to the extent you are having problems outside, to that extent there will be something wrong with your shank, with your energy field. I am giving you these practical examples so that you start doing sadhana with it. This should not remain mere theory. You should not go about saying, oh wow, how wonderfully, Yogishri, he explained about the shank. Superb example. Now what are you doing in life? Nothing. You're not using anything. That is of no use. You should start applying it in your life. There is a person who has sent me a mail saying that for the last few months I have been doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, but my core issues are not getting solved. These core issues are, one of the issues is not getting a stable job. Now my request to that person is, you do some reflection. Go within yourself. Find out, are you acting properly? When you get several offers in a job offers, are you willingly taking them up? Or are you rejecting them? Then only your sadhana is complete. It is not merely that 1 hour of Yoga Sankirtan. That is a prop that builds tremendous energy. Now you have to use it to do some self-reflection. What is the kind of energy which you are generating in that area? Another person has sent a question regarding her health. She says she has certain pains, and she has asked me what to do. She started listening to Yoga Sankirtan, which is very good. For the first few months, you listen to that, do the sadhana. Now what will happen is very interesting, because I don't want to tell you directly what the root cause of your problems are. We are not supposed to say that. The rule of the yogis is, rule for yogis is that they should only help others discover, because discovering is important. When something is told from outside, there will be no transformation from within. So what will happen when you do Yoga Sankirtan sadhana and when you start practicing these things is that you will be able to slowly pinpoint and locate that area of life which is causing negative energy, which in turn is causing this disease. For example, you have knee problems. Now it may be because of lack of confidence. You have wheezing problems, breathing, It may be because of certain emotional blocks which you're having. Those emotional blocks will be creating a certain pattern, negative energy pattern, which in turn will be causing this disease. So for you to locate that is the key. That will take a while. Of course, for many people, without even locating that, many a times what happens is when they do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, that goes and changes the energy pattern straight away. And then later on they have come and told me, sir, now the problem has got solved and I have suddenly realized that this is the way I used to behave there, and now my behavior also has changed. So later on they have seen the cause. But you will have to now locate the cause and handle that. It's not so difficult. So do this as a sadhana. Take up a piece of paper and take one or two areas where you're not getting satisfactory results, and then see what is the shank. Because according to your shank, see, each one is having an individual shank, individual expression. Your personality is unique. So what is your shank? What kind of energy are you creating? What are your expressions? What are your actions there? How do you speak? How do you act? How do you feel? How do you think? Are you putting in all the right efforts in the right direction in that field? All that you examine. And when you examine, when you bring that awareness, the correction will automatically follow. See, people are more interested in correcting. Correction follows awareness. When a person is not aware that something is wrong, how can he or she correct? That is why this external counseling or advice will not work beyond a point. Many people ask me, sir, I want some counseling. I say, I don't do counseling, because it will not work beyond a point. When the awareness is not there, just by telling a person do this, do that, it will not have any effect. So the moment you are aware, if you are aware that there is a dirt here, the cleaning process will be the next step. You will automatically do that. My duty is just to point out where the dirt is there, to build your awareness, so that you yourself can find out where all the dirt is there in the different aspects of your personality. Once you find them out, and then when you keep doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, that will give you the energy to clean yourself up. And when you clean yourself up, you will automatically find that external problem also vanishes within no time. So that is the practical application of Shank. So this week you take up and do this sadhana. So when you keep on doing the sadhana in this way, the practical application of sadhana you take up and you do it with sincerity, over a period of time, the energy field in you will change and become very, very divine, divyam. You will become a divya personality, that is a very divine personality. Don't think gods are outside you or even demons are outside you. The demons are also within you only. Gods are also within you. As a human being, you have this capacity to devolve and become a demon. As a human being, you have the capacity to do sadhana and become divyam, as he says, become divine. The choice is yours. So, then standing on the magnificent chariot yoked to white horses, Madhava and Pandava, representing the balance, indeed blew loudly their divine conches. So I have given many points in this verse, so you can reflect on these points, and what is more important is start applying them in your life. Next week we'll be seeing verse number 15, where Lord Krishna picks up his conch and he blows. And it is said in the scriptures that whenever Krishna blows his conch, two things happen. One is all the negative people are destroyed. All the negativities are destroyed. He's going to destroy all negativities. And the other thing is all the positivities will get enhanced. So when we go to that verse, if you practice these points which I have given you, and then when you come, you will be much more prepared to receive the energy of that verse where Krishna takes his conch and he blows. And after that, we'll be seeing the Pandavas also. Of course, I'll be giving one or two points from each of those aspects, all related to building the inner strength and taking charge of your life. And then this series will be complete, Okay, so before we have meditation today, there is a small announcement. Announcement in the sense, some question. I have received some mails where certain people have sent mails directly, and certain people have also asked this question to the volunteers. So basically what they are saying is that we have subscribed to the Infinite Wings YouTube channel, but we are still not getting any notifications about the programs, or if whenever any new video comes, we are not getting notified. So the volunteers have asked me to make this announcement. It is not enough if you merely subscribe to the Infinite Wings YouTube channel. You should also press the notification button. If you want to receive notifications, there is a bell icon which you need to go and press. Then you will get the notifications. See, these sort of questions you don't need to ask me. You can directly ask the volunteers. And I've also requested them to put the whole procedure in the WhatsApp groups and all that, which you're all a part of, so that those of you who have subscribed and who are not receiving notifications can just follow that. It is very simple. And as I was telling you after the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment session, all of you should get upgraded. I still find many people are not familiar with the usage of internet, computers, online. As I've told you, the future, it looks like the way people function itself will become more of online. So if that is the case, it is important that you need to upgrade yourself. I've mentioned this before, but I'm reiterating that because this is very important. See, even after the lockdown period, what I've been told is there is a chance that people may say we can have programs in the auditoriums, but we should wear masks and social distance should be maintained, which means not all seats can be occupied. We need to give. If that is the case, again, we may not be able to have the event there. Rather, we can have it online and till those norms relax, And we are also planning more powerful empowerment programs in the future. So you should get upgraded. See, being spiritual doesn't mean you should be outdated. This is a wrong concept which people have. They think if you're old-fashioned, you're spiritual. Spirituality means following those ancient principles, but you should apply them in your current context. That is the key. Okay, so now we'll have meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more divine. With every inhalation, take in the divine energy, and with every exhalation, feel the divine energy flowing into each and every aspect of your personality. with every breath, I am becoming more and more positive and divine. Feel the divine vibrations. As you breathe in, feel the divine energy entering you, and as you breathe out, feel the divine energy spreading into each and every aspect of your personality and purifying you completely. From this moment onwards, I choose to make all my expressions very, very divine and positive. I choose to fill each and every aspect of my life with divine positive energy. I am that supreme infinite being. I am essentially divine. I derive all my strength and power from that supreme infinite power, that infinite being which is within me. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Gently wriggle your fingers, your toes. Open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of the head, the back of the head and neck. And very, very slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So it was a very powerful meditation which we had. I had invoked a lot of healing Shakti, and this is also a preparation for you to receive the higher energy when we come to that verse of where Krishna will be blowing his conch. So the meditation which we did today, has caused a lot of purification within you. It would start working in a very subtle way, slowly. Today's meditation was a little more subtle. So you will find the effects of this meditation as you go along through the day, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So if you do your personal sadhana also diligently, this Shakti, this energy will function more effectively. Always remember, there is no substitute for your hard work. A guru will come and act like a catalyst. A catalyst will speed up the chemical reaction between two substances. Similarly, a guru comes into your life to speed up your spiritual progress. But the efforts you need to put in. There is no room for laziness. There is no room for tamas. The higher wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita is given to Arjunas. So awaken the Arjuna within you. Awaken the dynamism within you. And the more you do that, the more you will be able to receive the higher grace. Okay? So thank you very much. We'll meet next week, same time. Thank you.